How many people have come in and out of churches throughout their lives because of the damage that they have received from people's mouths? Now, there is no excuse not to go to church as prescribed in the Scriptures. Paul didn't set up in the Scriptures elders and deacons and entire church structures and meetings together and all these different things for no reason. It's clear in the Scriptures. There's letters in the book of Revelation that are written to churches, the church of Laodicea, all these different things. Churches are prescribed by Christ. So there's no excuse not to look for a church that expresses love, that expresses correct doctrine according to the gospel. But you have to empathize with people when they've been damaged by words. And the thing is, why it can be so damaging within the church context is because we all have a hopefulness when we enter into a church that this is going to be different. This is going to be a different experience. I've been beat up by the world. I've been torn to shreds by the world. Maybe this is a place of solitude. And when you don't have that experience, that can be a bitter thing to overcome. But whenever you do give somebody an experience of unity and love, it stays with them for a long, long time. So what we want to do is we want to make people's experiences when we claim that we're Christians, we want their experiences to be good. Most of all, though, we want to honor Christ and we want to honor God. So whenever you speak against people in a detracting way, and remember this is about motives, and motives are everything, that whenever you even speak the truth in a way that is for any other purpose than love and love of God and to benefit the other person's soul, you are doing evil. And this is what James is talking about right here. And he says that he who speaks against his brother and judges his brother speaks against the law and judges the law. What does he mean by that? Because you've set yourself up as a judge. Because whoever sets himself up that way and speaks against the law has not become a doer of the law, but a judge of the law. To be a judge of law is not your position. Because it says there is one lawgiver and there is one judge who is able to save and to destroy. That lawgiver is Jesus Christ. That is not you. Now, what this is not saying, it's not saying, well, we are to have just a blank slate in our mind that doesn't make any common sense judgments about good and evil and things like that. That is not the kind of judgment that he's talking about. He's talking about speaking against. What that means is whenever it's detractive and it's destructive. You have not been handed the prerogative of that type of judgment upon people. Yet we seem to entertain ourselves and puff ourselves up with it continually. There are people who clearly seem to define their entire walk with Jesus Christ as the growth of their ability to pass judgment by using the Scriptures to help them to do it. This is evil. Now you are primarily to be what in relation to the law? A doer. That means that the application of the righteousness of God and a critical way of approaching it is to be applied to yourself primarily. And that you are to not seek and to frame your mind in such a way that you are programmed to be able to be so perfect at spotting what is wrong with others. Trust me, you're going to see them anyways. The faults always emerge. What is in the dark doesn't seem to stay in the dark. It will surface. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes about people's sins. And to be Sherlock Holmes about people's sins is to be someone who doesn't do much doing of it. You should count your faith and define your faith as the doing of the law. That concerns yourself whenever you look in terms of doing. But whenever you look in terms of judgment, you are placing yourself in the judgment seat of Christ. Now, the judgment seat of Christ is a serious thing. All of our souls will hang in the balance one day, at that one moment, heaven or hell. Whether or not you had put complete faith in the finished work of Christ upon the cross as your substitute for the sins that you've committed, without relation to anyone else's sins at all. Martin Luther said that every man must do his own believing and his own dying. Nobody can do those things for you. So you must concern yourself primarily with you.